The quad bottle is alive and well. Whilst Real Sociedad and Bayern celebrate title victories, PSG open the door to the Liga 1 title, and the GOATs keep on delivering in 2026. This is DMAC Daily. The dreaded month of April. The month that periodically does not work out for Arsenal, at least under the Mikel, always the bride, Arteta era. And now, less than a month after falling short in the Carabao Cup final to City, Pep's side have only gone and inflicted another devastating blow to the Gunners, this time via the Premier League, a 2-1 victory at the Etihad, which essentially blows the title race wide open. It's just crazy to think that back in March, the prediction markets had Arsenal with a 91% chance of winning the league. Yet fast forward to April 20th, and it's City who are now favourites. Incredible stuff. Onto the match itself, and that was everything you could have hoped for in a heavyweight matchup. Chances aplenty, a sublime moment of individual quality from City's magician set the stage. Ryan Cherki, man, this guy is box office. But credit where credit's due. Arsenal didn't just fold. Sure, they were given a bit of a gift from Donnarumma. However, I was pleasantly surprised with the mentality from Arteta's side. So often he's been criticised for being too risk-averse, but the chance creation was there today. They were somewhat unlucky, having hit the post twice and Donnarumma also coming in with a big save of his own. But the reality is that they didn't take their opportunities, and City took full advantage. Who else but Erling Haaland to deliver the decisive blow? Having struck the post 15 or so minutes prior, he made no mistake second time round, out-muscling Gabriel in the process. But there was more drama to come. Late on, Gabriel with a confrontation with his heated rival. If Haaland goes down there theatrically screaming, he's almost certainly off. But VAR didn't intervene in that moment. Controversial to say at the least. It would have been a whole lot more controversial had Havertz not spurned the late opportunity. A miss that could shape the title as the home side held on. What a game of football in totality though. City now have the chance to go level on points with Arsenal. Realistically, the Premier League could now be decided by goal difference. That is crazy. Obviously, so much football still to play. Arsenal hasn't bottled it yet by any means, but we've been here before, haven't we? From an Arsenal standpoint, it's a weird result to take because, sure, defeat was the exact outcome you were hoping to avoid. However, it must be said that Arsenal were better today. If they play like this for the rest of the season, they've got a good chance of winning their remaining 5 games. If you compare their schedule to City's, Arsenal probably have a marginally easier run-in. Although, let's not forget about their UCL semi-final that they've also got to manage. For City, they will obviously be elated. Outstanding efforts all across the pitch today. Kusanov and Gerhi have formed the backbone of their title run. Nico O'Reilly, no matter where he plays, is now an elite performer. He set up the winner today. He was unreal going forward, equally impressive defensively. I think he's quietly on track for that PFA Young Player of the Season award. At the same time, the unks of City, Rodri and Bernardo Silva, showed their class in midfield, and that front four are obviously electric. Blistering pace on either flank, a magician at the heart of it all, and then a marksman up top. They'll be fully confident of now taking control of this title. It's crazy to think that they could definitely go on to win the domestic treble now. It's not far-fetched, really. In terms of their league run-in, they've got some complicated games there, although to be fair, every Premier League match can be a dogfight, bar Wolves, Burnley, or Spurs, that is. Speaking of the North London outfit, and there was more pain to experience over the weekend. Despite a much improved performance in De Zerbi's first outing as manager, Xavi Simons in particular with an outstanding display, assisting and then scoring what he thought was the winner, only for Brighton's Rutter to hit back in the 95th minute and dampen the party. So Spurs remain in 18th, whilst their relegation rivals Nottingham Forest secured a huge result. The man that Spurs came so close to signing, Morgan Gibbs-White, scoring a hat-trick against Burnley to go 5 points clear of the drop. Leeds also picking up 3 points too. West Ham also have the chance to go 4 clear with a win tomorrow. I keep saying it, it's looking more Eric Dyer with each match day that passes. Elsewhere in the Premier League, and it was the old guard who prevailed in the latest Merseyside derby as Salah opened the scoring, and then late on, following Beto's equaliser, Van Dijk popped up with a 101st minute match winner. A huge result for an under fire slot as they go 7 points of the most washed team in England. To be honest, I prefer not to speak in regards to Chelsea. I mean, this club is beyond banter FC at this point. I think we need to spend at least another 2 billion or so to seriously compete. I will say, United themselves were pretty ordinary. They'll just be grateful that Chelsea cannot hit a barn door to save themselves. 20 attempts, just the one on target. It's a complete clown show. Although, I gotta say, the Garnacho slander is pretty funny, not gonna lie. Meanwhile, Villa prevailed in one of the most entertaining games of the season against Sunderland. It was goals galore at Villa Park, a crazy moment at 3-3, Emi Martinez pulls off a miraculous save, and moments later, Tammy Abraham comes up with a winner. I know everyone's focus will be on the title race and the relegation battle, but low-key, the top 6 battle is equally insane stuff. Just 6 points the difference between 6th and 14th place. Incredible scenes wherever you look. Moving to Spanish football news, and it was a historic Copa del Rey final in Seville, just 14 seconds in, and Sociedad hit the front. The fastest goal in a final in the competition's 124-year history. Atletico's clutch January signing Ademola Lookman hit back shortly after. Then, in the second half, Sociedad's loyal leader Oyarzabal hit the front from 12 yards out. That's 6 straight finals where he has scored in, the ultimate big game player. Before another beauty late on, this time from Julian Alvarez to equalize. Truth be told, Atleti could have put this game to bed in regular time as substitutes Baena and Cardoso missed 2 gilt-edged chances. It would go to extra time where Julian Alvarez then came closest, hitting the bar. However, this game would inevitably be settled by penalties. Atleti's Argentine then saw his penalty saved alongside Sorlot's as the Basque side stunningly prevailed. Their first trophy in 5 seasons, guided by their US-born manager Pellegrino Matarazzo, the first American coach to ever win European silverware. Even wilder, Carlos Soler, the former PSG player who left the club around the same time as Mbappe, has now won a domestic trophy before the Frenchman has in Spain. No Madristas, the Super Cup does not count as a domestic trophy. There were incredible scenes from the Basque club, both in the stadium and back home upon their victory. A weekend that will live long in the memories of all Sociedad fans. Heading to Germany, and there were celebrations to be had in Munich as Bayern's 4-2 victory over Stuttgart secured the league title. Harry Kane coming off the bench to score. That's 51 for the season now, and more importantly, it's another trophy to his resume. It's Bayern's 35th league title. They've already broken the goal scoring record in a single season. The only downer of their weekend was the news that Gnabry's season is over, perhaps his World Cup hopes too, due to an adductor tear. The other notable fixture this weekend in Germany was over in Berlin. Union's Marie-Louise Etzer, the first female ever appointed in a top 5 men's league. However, her first game at the helm would result in a disappointing 2-1 defeat at home to 17th place Wolfsburg. Granted, Etzer's side were very unlucky on the day. Wolfsburg scored 2 screamers against the run of play and somehow managed to hold on for the 3 points. I mean, look at the statistics. That's the stuff of broken controllers on FIFA. Meanwhile, in France, there was a similar statistical mismatch as Lens came from 2 goals down at home to Toulouse to win 3-2. Ismail Aganyou's header in stoppage time turned this contest around. In fairness to Lens, anything less than 3 points would have been a diabolical outcome. Lens had 41 shots in total. That's genuinely insane stuff. Toulouse's goalkeeper with double-digit saves, an absurd result. In 24 hours, PSG, who rested several key players, paid a heavy price as young guns Endrick and Afonso Moreira scored and assisted one another to stun the home crowd. A late screamer from Kvaratskhelia wasn't enough as PSG's margin at the top is reduced to 1 point. Granted, they do have a game in hand, but a congested schedule makes their run-in rather difficult. They also have to face Lens on the road, followed by their Paris neighbors in the final week of the season. So it's still looking rather unlikely that Lens end up lifting the trophy, but it would be one of the great stories of the season if it came to fruition. Heading to Italy, and Inter are 1 step closer to Scudetto glory. A professional 3-0 win at home to Cagliari with their usual suspects chipping in. Wingback Di Marco providing his 16th assist of the Serie A campaign, setting up Thuram before Barella made it 2, and Zielinski closed the show in spectacular fashion. Boy, can this lad strike a football. The technique there is outrageous. The title isn't confirmed just yet though, as city rivals Milan scraped a victory away in Verona. Adrien Rabiot with his 6th league goal of the season to reclaim 2nd spot from Napoli, who succumbed to a 2-0 defeat at home to Lazio. Meanwhile, Juventus had a great weekend dispatching of Bologna 2-0 at the Allianz. Como's defeat at home to Sassuolo means the Bianconeri sit 5 points clear of that top 4. Spalletti has done a fine job since stepping into the Juve hot seat. He's also just renewed his deal with the club till 2028, so perhaps better days ahead ahead for the old lady. And finally, to close out today's show, we gotta quickly give props to the GOATs, the Unks, the old-time legends, starting with Lionel Messi, who bagged himself a brace away in Colorado this weekend in a 3-2 victory. A pretty crazy atmosphere too, with the second highest recorded attendance in MLS history, 75,824 fans in attendance as Messi produced another vintage Messi display. Meanwhile, the Portuguese GOAT was back amongst the goals in a 4-0 victory for Al Nassr in the AFC Cup quarterfinal. That's career goal 969, but more importantly, Ronaldo is in a great position to pick up multiple trophies this campaign. Al Nassr are 8 points clear in the league with 5 games to play, and also now advanced to the AFC Cup semis, which is basically the Asian equivalent of the Europa League. So CR7 is firmly on track to pick up his first FIFA credited trophy since moving to Saudi Arabia. You love to see the GOAT still delivering with a World Cup around the corner too. Enjoy him whilst you still can. Anyways guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. Make sure to check out my latest docu-style video if you haven't already on the World Cup legend who respawns every 4 years. We're back at it with the weekly docs alongside shorts and of course DMAC Daily too. We're firing on all cylinders basically. Thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll see you next time.